Thanks for tuning into the Hidden Tracks podcast. You can find us wherever you find podcasts or listen to music. When you have an opportunity, please give us a 5-star review, write a little note, tell us how we're doing. We really appreciate it. It helps us keep this thing going. If you want to reach out to us, you can find us at Facebook at Hidden Tracks. Instagram is at HiddenTracks99, and if you'd like to send in submissions or talk to us or give us any feedback about what we're doing, our email is myhiddentracks99@gmail.com. Thank you so much again for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy the show. What's up, everybody? Another week, another edition of the show. This week I have Sam from the awesome Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania band Short Fictions with me today. How you doing, Sam?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you?
I am good. We discussed, we're glad we're not on video, so we're both dealing with some sweltery temperatures right now, but we will get through it. Just be dousing myself, pouring beer over my head the entire time we're doing this. So
we are sweaty.
Very sweaty, and that's without rocking out beforehand. So we're sorry, people. But yeah, why don't you tell me a little bit about Short Fictions and the new album that came out? I mean, like I said, I've listened to it plenty of times already, and I'm literally all in on it. So
yeah, well, I'm happy to hear that. Let's see, Short Fictions. We're a band from Pittsburgh. We cannot really decide on a genre. I know that's kind of a cop-out, but we do change it up quite a bit. This album's got some emo, some indie, some screamo, the whole 9 yards, and this album is our newest and most polished and probably our most fun album as of yet, and yeah, stoked on it.
Yeah, and I mean, I like how you brought up it being a cop-out, not picking a genre, but listen, we can just go to two of them nowadays. It's alt rock or indie rock. I mean, and then it just encompasses everything because, I mean, for a song like The Great Unwashed, I mean, that just gives you 10 different sounds and 10 different genres all in one song, and they're all fucking, wash out, and they're fucking great. So
hell yeah. Well, thank you so much. Yeah, I prefer to just say indie rock because it's more comprehensive, or even alternative. It's like what I say when when an old person asks me what kind of music I play, I say alternative rock.
An old person, I like that.
Or like a non-music person.
A non-music person. If that non-music person asked you to play a song from your band that would best describe you guys, what would you play for them?
That's a good question. I think I would go with "Don't Start a Band." Because it's fun, it's accessible, and I don't know. It's a conversation piece.
Now, coming out with this, I mean, you had some really good critical acclaim with your, let's call it your first album. I mean, because everybody has EPs prior to that, but your first full-length album, Every Moment of Every Day, which is killer as well. And it's always something to follow up something that, you had a lot of focus on. From a lot of places, and going into the new album, I mean, did you set a bar for yourself, or say we have to top what we did on our first album so we don't hit that sophomore jinx, as they call it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's such a tricky thing to do, especially because up till then, no one had heard about us at all, and then we dropped that album, and we still weren't famous or anything, but we got a Pitchfork review. We toured with some bigger names, which was sick. And then I was like, okay, now we have to keep this momentum going. We don't want to change it up too much. We don't want it to be the same also, though. So how can we, make something how can we make number two? And I think really the best thing that we did was record it better than we did the first one. First one I think it was all at home, which I like that aesthetic. I like the way home recorded albums are, how they sound, but having recorded this new one in the studio, I think will probably broaden our audience a little.
Well, I mean, yeah, you went from indie rock from recording at home, which is, that old stuff back in the 90s. What was indie was people self-recording, Dinosaur Jr., Sebadoh, doing things of that nature on home recordings, and then you move into the alt rock, and then you just produce something better. So
Yeah, absolutely.
now, when you're looking at setting that bar and trying not to have any shortcomings from what got you to where you were in that period of time, I mean, did you find it harder to write the songs that you were coming up with? Did you put more pressure on yourself to think that you have to write better songs than what you had on the first album?
Yeah, kind of. Which it's like, I don't know, because how can you? It's hard to say objectively what is better, and everybody's different, obviously. So I don't know. It's tricky. Yeah, I was like, okay, this one has to be like extra good, and I want to try to like harp on like all the stuff on the last album that people liked, but again, I'm not trying to make a carbon copy. Um, so yeah, but really, at the end of the day, it's kind of like I'm just gonna write what comes out, and you know, uh, and that's all you can do, really.
Yeah, and I mean, one of the best things I ever heard early on in this show years ago was, I asked someone because there was a drastic change between like their first album and then their sophomore album. Like when I say drastic, it was a big change, and I was like, what brought on that change? And the best answer I ever got from somebody on something like that, he goes, "We still don't even know what type of band we are.
Yeah,
We just love making music, and whatever comes out, and we're making music for the love of music, and we're not going to get pigeonholed by being like, okay, we're only a rock band, and these are what the songs are going to sound like from here on out."
yeah, absolutely. Especially like for us, because a lot of our early stuff was like kind of well, it's either lo-fi or like very screamy, and then we kind of dipped into like more like pop stuff. And people were like, "Oh, you should probably stick to one, or you're going to confuse your audience." And I'm kind of like, I mean, there's no rules. Like we're just doing this for fun. Like there's no one. There's no like label. Well, I mean, we have a label, but they've never been like you have to do this or that. Like it's just like if you're not creating the music for yourself and having fun with it, then like what's the point? Like we're not bouncing these ideas off like a focus group or anything.
You don't have a big group of people sitting behind a glass window as you watch as they listen to music and pick it apart.
Yeah, I mean, maybe might be beneficial if we did, but
Yeah.
as of yet, no.
No, and someone saying you're going to confuse your audience. I mean, all I think that really does, I don't think you're confusing anyone. It just opens you up to a new audience.
Yeah, straight up, exactly. You get it.
I mean, the big thing with music is if you have an audience for your first album, right? That audience is always going to be there because that album's always going to be there.
Yeah, that's a true point.
They can always go back to it. So if something new comes out and they're like, this is a lot different, I'm not into it. Well, you can always go back to that first album and you still have your audience and they're still going to want to come see you play. So you're just, meeting new audience and finding new people to enjoy your music. And I mean, that's the goal of it, right? When you're creating is to get to as many people as possible and just have someone enjoy it.
Yeah, absolutely. Although I will say, if you come to our shows expecting to hear our early works, you will be sorely disappointed because we do not play them. Although, actually, we did someone like DM'd us on Instagram, was like, "Can you please play this song at your next show?" And we did. So if you send your questions early, we might play it. But yeah, heads
Wow,
up.
you bow down to the masses and peer pressure of Instagram DMs. Awesome,
Right? Yeah,
awesome.
we'll do anything for anyone.
So let's get into you a little bit. What was if you have it, your first musical memory, the first time you heard music as a small child, whether it be played around the house or something where it clicked for you?
That's a good question. I'm trying to remember, like, okay, yeah, no, I remember now. All right. My mom is pretty musical. She plays like piano and viola. So I watched her do that and I was like, it'd be kind of cool to play an instrument. And when I was like, probably like 5 to 10, I was jamming out to like the CDs that she had, which was like, I remember liking Talking Heads and like the soundtrack to "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou." Those were like classic mom core
Yeah.
from when I was a kid. But Talking Heads is good. Good pick on my mom's behalf. Burning Down the House was like my favorite song when I was like 6.
It's something you could dance to as a small child.
Right, yeah.
And Talking Heads, again, for for certain people, like they are an acquired taste. Like you either get the Talking Heads or you don't. I don't think there's any like middle of the road fans that are like, yeah, no, I listen to them occasionally. I think it's like you either like the Talking Heads or you don't.
Yeah, absolutely. And you should, because I mean, they're really good.
Now, when did you, moving on from that, when did you start to find your own music? Was there a time someone shared something with you, or you were watching TV and you started to find your own realm of music, which is a very, very pivotal point in someone's life, is when you find your own thing to attach yourself to.
Right, yeah. So I there was like some shelved CDs as well that like didn't get CarPlay quite as much, and I think I've grabbed like the Beatles, like greatest hits or whatever, and I was like, oh, that's a band name that I've heard of. I should check this out, just like in my spare time. And then that was kind of the catalyst. So the Beatles were like my a number one, and then I got into like, oh, I also really liked Queen, also one of my mom's CDs, or maybe it was my dad's, I don't know. But so yeah, Queen and the Beatles were the first ones, and then I was like, well, I should probably check out the Rolling Stones as well. And then like I remember like Pandora was like the only internet radio at the time. That was a huge one for me, and I think like what happened was I was listening to classic rock radio a lot. That was like my whole thing, and they would like eke in some like White Stripes songs, and then the White Stripes led me to like a lot of other like garage rock revival and like other like more contemporary indie bands. And then that was kind of like the big bang for me.
When did you find your first band that you were able to turn someone else onto that had never heard of them? Because I know that also for me was, hey, did you guys ever hear this band? No, and then you put it on and everybody loves it.
I don't know if this counts, but I was obsessed with AC/DC when I was like 12, 13. So I made everyone in my circle listen to AC/DC, and not just like the hits, but the deep cuts, which looking back was like, I'm sure insufferable, but
Well, they say every great rock band listens to AC/DC before they go on stage.
that's true. Yeah, we do that.
That's awesome. So from there and getting into the style of music that you play, when it's indie, alt rock, harder to find stuff where people have to search it out. Was there a band that stood out to you that you came across that was, for me, I know my first band that I came across that no one had heard of and it was really hard to find was Mineral, and then just starting to show it to people, and then they became, who they became.
Yeah. Well, I think what really kicked off like making like contemporary indie emo stuff was that I don't even know how I got like the tip on this, but there was a house venue in my hometown, which is crazy because my hometown is like population like sub 10,000. But there was a house venue that was run by some of the people that played in the band Perfect Future, which was like a long time early like Count Your Lucky Stars band. So I started going to those shows when I was in like 8th grade, and they would bring in like real heavy hitters before they blew up. Like I'm talking like the first like The World Is a Beautiful Place tour happened like in this basement, and like Two Nights, Foxing. I saw Foxing like in a basement with like 3 people. Oh, Empire was like a huge one. And then I was like, okay, yeah, I want to make this music.
Yeah, I just had Ben Hendricks on the show recently from Parting with Keith from Empire.
Oh, nice.
Empire.
That's sick.
Yeah. Those bands, and seeing things like that in like small house areas. I mean, I got to see so many growing up in the early explosion of emo in the late 90s and early aughts. So those are always memorable things. Now, if you were going there very young, was that your first concert? Do you have a first concert prior to that maybe your parents dragged you to?
Well, I was definitely going to like concerts, but yeah, that was my first like DIY concert. And yeah, I was like, I mean, your first DIY concert is special in and of itself, but especially if you're 14 and you're like, this is the coolest thing in the world. And I still think it is. But yeah, looking back on those shows, I was like, there's a show. This guy's having a show in his basement. I didn't know that was allowed. But yeah, before that, like, I'd gone to like big shows. I remember seeing like, uh, my family all went and saw Vampire Weekend. And who else? Oh, Third Eye Blind played my local college one time, and I had not even like listened to them at the time, so I kind of was just there because like that's what everybody in the town was doing that night. And now I'm like, yeah, I got to see Third Eye Blind.
Good for you, because the past couple times they've played, it hasn't been the greatest.
Yeah, I believe that.
And for a band like that, for me, like Third Eye Blind, like I was deep cut Third Eye Blinds, like all the stuff that was on the radio. I was like, yeah, if you guys like those songs, like the album, take those songs off, and the album's still fucking great. Like they were
Truly,
just
yeah.
really good.
Yeah, I mostly listened to the self-titled, or I think it's self-titled, the first album. But yeah, not a single bad song on that album.
Yeah, I think Vane, their third album, was I thought it was phenomenal, and there wasn't a radio hit off it. I think that's why it was so phenomenal, was because they just made what they made.
Okay, nice. I gotta check that one out then.
Yeah. So being able to see people do this, I mean, and like, what brought you to the point where you thought you could do this? I mean, when did you start picking up that instrument to rock out? You were a young kid, and like, what was how did things matriculate forward from there?
Yeah, that's a good question because I think what it was like I didn't play anything. I was just like a casual. I was like, well, not a casual. I was like a big time music listener, but I never thought to like play an instrument until I was probably, I think, like 11 or like 12 was like when I started. And it's because I have an older brother, and he was like, "I'm gonna play guitar," and I was like, "Oh shit! I never thought about playing music." I had played piano previously, but
Everyone has.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't love playing the piano. In fact, I would say I hated playing the piano. But yeah, when my brother got a guitar, I was like, okay, I need a guitar too. So couldn't have done it without him. Shout out
That
John.
Yeah, the older sibling peer pressure is always, looking up to someone or wanting to be like, "Oh, wow, that's cool," and just wanting to do it too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you pick up a guitar, you start playing a guitar. What There's usually that moment when you start playing an instrument that you want to find other people playing an instrument. Was that only other person right away your brother, or did you seek out other friends in school or whatever that were playing instruments and you're like, "Hey, let's start a band"?
Oh yeah. Well, at first, like in middle school, it was pretty much impossible. Nobody was like sufficient at any instrument to like play together. And then by high school, yeah, it was like I had like a few people that could play, and I had a few bands in high school actually. They were all like pretty mediocre, but just being able to get them together and actually play and play a show was huge.
What was the name of your very first band?
Lost Cat, and it was a ska band.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh.
because I think everyone in the band was in like high school, or what is it, concert band in high school. So naturally, well, my brother played trombone as well. So yeah, it was an
Oh, so
easy.
there it is. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So when was the first time you performed in front of strangers?
There was a like another DIY venue in like West Virginia that was like an hour drive away, but they were having shows in like a VFW, and like they always needed locals, obviously, because who fucking plays DIY shows in a VFW in West Virginia? So they're like, yeah, pretty much any time you are able to play or like open a show, we're like more than happy to have you. So, and I think I was probably 14 or 15 at that time.
All right. And what was that like for you, that first experience?
Awesome. Also nerve wracking. And yeah, we were not very good for a while. So it was kind of like, I wish we were a little more rehearsed, but people seemed to like it still. So yeah, it was like, it felt like stardom.
When did you first start recording music then?
Probably around the same time, because yeah, I was big on the whole DIY thing, so I was like, I'm just gonna record it all myself, which I did, and again, it came out pretty lackluster. At the time, I thought it was good. Looking back, it is not. Do not seek it out. But yeah, so we did a whole album DIY, and that was that's all she wrote.
All right. So from your first performance to your most memorable, do you have a memorable performance in your career so far that you always look back upon like extremely fondly? You just always be like, that so far in my career that's the performance.
Yeah, there's one that I pretty much is my stock answer for this question, which is when we were on tour with Origami Angel, and they had like just released their album, and it like blew up pretty instantly. So they were like they had like just gotten like big, which was why we were able to tour with them. But they were still like drawing crazy audiences. And then we played in LA at a bowling alley, and the local was Glass Beach, who was also had just dropped their album, so which is why we got to play with them. But yeah, I think it was 300 cap, and it sold out like pretty quickly. And my brother lives on the West Coast, so he was like, "Let me play trombone at this show." And we already had a trombone player, so we had two trombones. And then our drummer's friend, who he went to Berkeley with, was like, "I live in LA now, so let me play trumpet at this show." So we had like a full horn line, 300 cap, fully booked bowling alley, and it was sick.
That's
That was the zenith for us.
yeah, that's a memorable experience, and to build off of to build more from there.
Yeah, and Ian Cohen of Pitchfork authorship was there as well. So
Oh, nice. Do you have a performance that stands out that you wish you could erase from your history?
oh yeah, same tour. I think it was like maybe the next day, like shortly thereafter. But like we all got really sick on this tour. This was like 2020. I don't know what it was, but like it involved a lot of throw up. Like we were all like so dehydrated and like throwing up. Like I should have gone to like the hospital probably, but I was like, well, we got to do tour, and this was before COVID, so like it was like being sick's not going to stop us from playing a show. Foolishly, we know better now, but yeah, so like I was just like delirious, and we played at Gilman 9 whatever it is, the Green Day venue, and it was sick because it was like, this is a legendary venue. It was huge, like it was a really good show, a lot of people were there, and like I was so out of it, I just like absolutely biffed it so badly. Like played just completely not even close notes, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm sorry everybody, I'm so sick.
Wow. So COVID started with you.
Yeah, we're like, were we patient zero for COVID? We don't know. Like COVID, the word, I had not even heard the term at the time, so who knows?
Could be. Who knows? Hey, we could be coming up with some things right now, and we don't
Yeah.
know. This is all speculation.
Right.
Now, in all your performances and traveling around and playing with other bands, is there a band that you've performed with that you stood back and watched and just had that holy fuck moment of watching a band that you're on the same ticket with perform?
Yeah, let me think. But definitely have some good ones for that. I think maybe we played with Two Nights, which is a really good two-piece like math-y group. In case the listeners don't know, they're so sick, and they like kind of don't really play shows a whole lot anymore, like if at all. But they were just like, we're gonna play this house show on New Year's Eve, and we all like love that band. So getting to watch them play was like, uh, that was legendary for us.
Awesome. Did you have somebody else? Because I know you said you had some for it.
Let me think. um, I can't think of any right now, but
All right.
I'm sure there are. I feel like I've thrown every band we've ever played with under the bus, but yeah.
No, and that's the whole thing. I mean, it doesn't take away from anyone else you've ever played with. There's just that moment
Oh, I
when
got
you,
another
you
one. I'm ready.
yeah.
We on our when we were touring down to Fest, we played a show with Appleseed Cast, and I don't know like why or how that ended up happening, but yeah, being in the same like green room as Appleseed Cast was like we were starstruck, and they were so cool and nice too. Like I don't know, they were just normal ass dudes.
Yeah, they all are normal ass dudes, and I mean, that's what that's what everybody pretty much is. I mean,
Yeah.
it's few and far between when you meet that asshole, but when you do, you know it. So
Yeah, and they were like, I think the Dune movie had just come out, and they're like, hit us up tomorrow if you want to link and go see Dune. And I was like, I can't believe the Appleseed cast wants to see Dune with us. This is insane.
did you go see Dune?
No, we didn't. We
Well,
were too busy, but someday.
I really enjoyed it, and I'm an OG Dune fan, so I thought it
Nice.
was
Well, I'm
very
glad to
good.
hear that. I have not seen it yet, but I saw
Mm,
the David Lynch one, of course.
yeah. All right. Big moment in your life is the day you get your driver's license.
Sure.
Do, do you remember what you were listening to the first time when you got your driver's license and you went to pick up one of your friends? What was playing on the radio?
On the radio is probably like there was like this really mediocre classic rock station in my hometown, uh 1061. I forget what they were called, but they always did classic rock, but like the worst songs possible. They played Rock You Like a Hurricane like constantly. So my guess is that Rock You Like a Hurricane by Scorpions was playing.
That is and scorpions. Oh my lord. Okay. I will not dive into that.
Yeah, they fucking suck.
Yeah. Do you have a band in your life that you can always turn to and they just never let you down? Whenever you need something in your life, whether it's a pick me up or a bring me down or just music to play in the background, a band that you constantly turn to?
Beach Boys. Beach Boys are my life. They're
Uh,
so
I hope I hope you're serious about that.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. No, they're so good. Like, I love them very deeply, and it's a band that I can, like, play around, like, normal people too, which is great. Like, I also really like that's my pick me up, and then my pick me down is Empire Empire. Like, I wouldn't put Empire Empire on at work or whatever, but the Beach Boys is always good.
Yeah,
And
I'm Beach Boys were my very first musical memory, and I hopefully they will be my last
that's what's up.
musical memory.
Yeah.
Yeah, that they are such a huge, important part to that sculpted me into the music that I would eventually seek out and find and love throughout my entire life. And I honestly, I'll go back and put to it emotive music that people call emo. My Beach Boys were pretty emo back then.
Yeah, straight up. Pet Sounds. There's like on the what is it? The Love and Mercy biopic. It's about that whole era, and Mike Love is like ripping on Brian Wilson, and he's like, "These songs are sad, Brian. Even the happy songs are sad." And I was like, "Yeah, that's what's up."
Yeah, if you ever want to read two really good books, you read Brian Wilson's biography and then read Mike Love's.
Wait,
And
that's sick. Yeah, I definitely.
it's actually really awesome. And I read Mike Love's first, and then I read Brian Wilson's, and then I went back to read Mike Love's, and I was like, all right, the truth lies somewhere in between. But to hear the different way that they tell a story and have different memories of everything are pretty cool and pretty like holy shit, that's like way out there.
That's crazy. Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna put those both on my reading list. Good call.
It's the last song you cried to.
Oh, I think I cried to one this morning, but I can't remember what it was. Let me pull up my Spotify here and see if it says. I go to work at like 6:30 a.m. and I think whenever whenever I am listening to music really early, it does something different for some reason. Um yeah, I don't know what it was. Let me see if I can
Are
go to
you
my
in a more
searches.
vulnerable state in the morning?
Yeah,
Are
I
you
guess
just
so. Oh, it was I think it was hang on. It might have been something by Donovan Wolfington. but maybe not. That doesn't seem right. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and say that I don't know, but I do be crying.
All right. Now, in the world of, I grew up in an era where movie soundtracks were the 80s and 90s was my era when I grew up. So movie soundtracks were the shit. Like they were, everything was about a movie soundtrack and finding songs. And I mean, in the aughts, I mean, I gotta say, there's maybe two or three that were killer. Um, but do you have a song from a movie that you absolutely love that's just like can always bring you back to that movie?
Oh yeah. Um so let's see. I really like Somewhere Out There from An American Tale, and I actually have not even seen that movie. I just really like that song. And I think like someone like it might have been Whitney Houston or like somebody like that recorded it, but the version that has the mouse from the movie singing it is like way more compelling in my opinion.
Well, then go watch the movie when you're done so you can cry to that song.
Yeah. Yeah, that song rips.
All right. If you had the greatest voice in the world and nobody knew about it and you walked into a karaoke bar, what's the karaoke song that you would sing to own the room?
uh, I've done karaoke probably like 5 times total, and I think I've always done "Ramblin' Man" by Allman Brothers, which isn't really like it's not like a great vocal exposition song, but I guess I would just still do "Ramblin' Man." Go six
Why
for
that
six
song?
because
Why is
it
why is that your
rocks. I don't
song?
know.
Huh.
It rocks, and it's like not too wordy. It's like pretty predictable, like where the lyrics will go.
Do you have any type of music that you listen to that people would be really surprised that someone in an indie alt rock band listens to?
I'm deeply into classical and jazz. I don't know if that's like unexpected of an indie band, but it's definitely like my most
Yeah, I
uh,
wouldn't say that's that
esoteric interest.
yeah, I wouldn't say that's that unexpected. I mean, a lot of people that I've had here, we talk about classical and jazz a lot. It's more along the lines of like, you know, BTS and stuff like that.
Oh,
That
uh, I'm like deeply into. Well, let's see. I like some butt rock. What else do I like? That's weird. Like I said, I still love ACDC. Who else is weird? I know a lot about. Well, Screamo's not like unprecedented either. Like adult contemporary from like the '80s. I really like Sheena Easton. I don't know if that's weird, but I feel like most of my peers are like, as far as musicians are like, a lot of bands I know only listen to like other like contemporary emo music, and I'm like, well, I mean that's fine too. You can just listen to whatever you like. Oh, ska as well. Obviously, I'm a huge ska fan. I like everything, I guess. Oh, country, huge on country as well.
bubblegum pop country, like the
No, no, like real OG
oh,
shit.
like real. Yeah, I love real country, and I love artists that are coming out nowadays that are making real country. And I'm like, yeah, these guys are awesome, and no one's ever gonna fucking play them on the radio because they're too good and they're better than the fucking Luke Bryants of the world that are
Yeah,
barely sing.
it's truly insane what has happened to country music. I don't know. I mean, I do know what happened, but I don't like it.
Not many real country fans do. So
Right? Yeah. Yeah. I watched the what's his name, Ken Burns country music documentary, and that was a huge eye opener for me.
yeah, there's an awesome. It's basically about Nashville, but it's what the hell's the name of the documentary? I've watched it like twice now. I think it's called "It Takes a Song."
Okay.
And it's just about the songwriters and like how songwriting started at the Grand Ole Opry. People would wait outside to hand their songs to an artist coming off, and that's why it's like the songwriting capital of the world. Like, and it was just like all these, like it opens with a guy like, and he's naming all these songs, and he's like, "Yeah, I had 40 number one hits." He goes, "And you don't know my name."
Yeah, that's crazy.
And he's like a great artist, and he's singing a song, and I'm like, dude, he's fucking dynamite, but he just never made it, but he writes awesome songs.
Yeah, country music's weird like that, and how the big names get the music in their hands. That's insane. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, I'll shoot you the name of the documentary or a link to it. I mean, it really is. It's one of those things, and at the end of it, I think that's the last time I cried when I was watching
Nice.
a documentary, especially about music. And at the end, if you don't cry, you are fucking soulless. That's all I have to say. Like you
Okay,
are
cool.
soulless at the end of it.
Good to know.
All right, you got 5 minutes left to live. The meteor's going to crash into the earth, and you have to listen to one song. You're forced to listen to one song. What song would it be?
Hmm. I would probably just put on What It Takes to Move Forward by Empire Empire, the whole album. I don't, well, you wouldn't get all the way in. You would get one song, but
Yeah.
I don't even remember. The song names are so lofty, I don't know what they are, but just track one off of that, I guess.
All right. Do you have a favorite song that in your, I guess we'll call it discography, but your curation of songs that you've written and released, is there a song that is your favorite to date, or a song that is just something that means the most to you that you've created?
Um, I really like the first song on the new album.
That's my favorite. I love it.
Nice, yeah. I don't know why. It just feels like I feel like without one, it feels the way that like my brain feels, and I was like, I don't know, like it's weird. It's weird to have that happen, and I've obviously attempt that with like every song I write, but that one I feel like is just like the Sam Treber song. So
Yeah, and with that song, and I got to say, for me, I get so much music sent to me, and I listen to so much stuff, and I seek out so much stuff. I spend so much time with music that nowadays, when people send me stuff, like it's you got to get me on that first song,
yeah,
and and I will listen to something all the way through, but usually judgment comes with that first song. And for people out there that don't know the name of the song, it's "You Will Never Be the Best at Anything You Try, Surely Not." But that song, literally from the moment it started, I literally was writing. I had a magazine next to me that I'm looking at music. I'm writing down things, and then I just stopped. I put down everything, and I just sat there and listened.
oh my goodness, that's so cool to hear. Thank you so much.
So, what are you most excited about for the new album? And what are your aspirations? And I know you got some tour dates lined up and everything too. I mean, what are you most looking forward to?
Yeah, I'm just excited to play these songs, and like as of right now, like it's still so fresh. Actually, at the time of this recording, it's not even out yet. But like right now, we played a show and we'll play the new stuff, and some people know the words, but mostly people know the words to like the old stuff. I'm excited for the new stuff to register in people's like to for them to for them to familiarize themselves and have it be a part of their vernacular. And yeah, hopefully it pops off, and we become a international sensation.
Hey, I'll give you two thumbs up. Hope for you.
Sweet.
So you're out in Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I'm always interested to find out about the music scenes in that area and the community of bands. Because that's usually what brings an area to the forefront. Is back in the day, you talk about early emo and in the Texas, the Austin scene and the Denver scene, and what's the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania scene for indie music?
That's yeah. It's hard to say at the moment. It's kind of I don't know. Like when I first moved to Pittsburgh, like every band was an emo band or a folk punk band. Those were like our big two. And now like I feel like it's diversified to where just like we got everything basically, and it's so weird like for a small town like we have so many different like scenes within the scene. Like there's like you might go your whole tenure in the DIY scene without knowing about like certain venues or bands because they're just like doing their own thing. Like I saw like I remember there was like an article that came out on Bandcamp that was like highlighting the Pittsburgh like underground noise scene, and I was like, I've been going to shows for like almost 10 years here, and I don't know about any of this. Like yeah, so I don't know. It's we got everything in Pittsburgh, and the music scene is bustling. It's a little weird, and I think this is true of everywhere. Like we just came out. I mean, the Corona is still happening. Let's start with that. But like as far as like there used to be so many house venues, which is sick, and now there's like not very many because like it's like not like the ideal environment to be playing shows. So I'm kind of interested to see like what will happen here in the next few years. I feel like we're still like in the recovery process, but there's still so much going on. And yeah, Pittsburgh is like a magical place to start a band. If you want to start a DIY band, Pittsburgh's like the perfect climate to do it.
Nice. I've been to Pittsburgh couple times and I've always enjoyed my time there, and my thing always is I've always seek out music. I travel for work, and no matter where I stay, the first thing I do is go on bands in town and look for music that's playing, and then just go out by myself instead of sitting in a hotel room. And I gotta say, Pittsburgh is the only town that I'd never found music to go out and see, which is fucking crazy.
That's so weird. Well, maybe it's hidden. It's not very well advertised sometime, but next time you're here, let me know, and I'll show you a good time.
Awesome. All right. So you got tour lined up. I mean, you got some dates lined up. Is there anything coming this fall that you're working on to tour on the record? I mean, I know you got stuff coming up at the end of July, so
Yeah, so we got like a big US tour in July, and then we're playing Fest, so we'll probably tour around Fest. And that's about all we have lined up so far. You don't need to plan too far in advance, but definitely trying to hit the road as much as we can. So yeah, we'll see.
awesome. Well, before we move into our last segment of the show, I'd love to give you the opportunity to tell everybody how to find everything that Short Fictions is doing right now. If there's anything you want to say to the people out there, now's your opportunity to do it throughout your socials, all that good jazz.
Yeah, okay. So probably if you want to like truly keep up with short fiction, the best thing to do is Instagram because I post everything on there. And then it stays there. Twitter, like you can follow us on Twitter too. That's a good one. Facebook, we got Facebook. It's just linked to Instagram, so you know they're the same thing. Follow us on Spotify, Apple Music. We got that. We've got. I mean, you know, if you like music and it's the same for every band. You know how to find us if you want to. We are on TikTok as well, but I don't post a whole lot. I'm trying to do more of that, but yeah, we got everything.
Yeah, well, once you figure one out, there you got to go to another one and then figure that one out, and then another one pops up, and that's the hardest part of this game right now is keeping up with the trends of where you're supposed to be putting stuff.
Oh, you're telling me.
But so in our last segment, it is our weekly threes. It is three things you're listening to right now that you would like people to check out.
Oh, okay.
Could be old, could be new, but three things you're listening to that you want people to check out.
Three things. All right. Just the other day, I was recommended an album. Spotify recommended it to me. It's called Dorothy's Harp by Dorothy Ashby, and it's a like jazz harp album from 1969. That's sick. Check that out. Let's see. Two more. Okay, I'll do two Pittsburgh bands. Tyler Heaven just put out a really cool, like, folky, shoegazy album. Super good. And all right, one more, Sam. You can do it. I hype this band all the time. Feeble Little Horse is a new Pittsburgh band that is fucking sick, and they're getting the biscuit right now, and they're gonna blow up. So check them out if you haven't already. I'm hype on, you know, you gotta represent everyone in Pittsburgh. We're in this together.
Yeah. No, good. All right, good three. My three for this week. My first one is a band called Coupons. They're out of New York. They're indie rock. They have a new song called Waiting that's out, and their new record will be dropping or has dropped at the time of the release of this show. So check that out. Next band is Perspective, A Lovely Hand to Hold. Phantasmagorian Land. There is the name of the album. They're a Connecticut indie rock band. Good to check out. And last but not least, somebody sent this to me, and it is righteous as fucking hell. Sea Home. They're a Detroit Rock City indie emo alt rock band, and the name of the album is It's Raining Outside.
Sick.
Those are my 3 for this week. And Sam, I want to thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for the music you create and put out in the world and let people take ownership of and have in their heart to have forever. So thank you for that. We respect all the artists that do that, and it takes a lot to do it. So we appreciate you putting out what you do, and the fact that it's good also helps.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for having me. It's been a blast.
All right. Well, we're at the end. So everybody, you know what time it is. It's time to go out, listen to short fictions, and have a great fucking time doing it.
Woo!
This sucks. I am so unhappy.
I can only be so convincing. I want this so genuinely. I could write a song in a day that I know you would like, but it all means so much more to me. No simple chords and melody. It might hit a million streams, but it don't feel right.
Thanks again for tuning into the Hidden Tracks podcast. We hope you enjoyed this week's show. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at HiddenTracks99. Also, send all your submissions myhiddentracks99@gmail.com. Tune in next week. You may find your new favorite band, and don't forget to go out and have a great fucking time.